darken this up. Let's see. For foundation, I just switched back to blending it in with a puff, but I only do my foundation with a puff. Any cream bronzers, any cream blushes, I do with a brush, and same thing for my concealer, I do with a brush. But let's get started. This is gonna be so, like, not difficult, but because I have to use the mirror, I guess I'll just turn to the side. Sorry. The reason I use a puff for my foundation is because I find that it doesn't make my crease get cakey because I use matte foundation. I think sometimes it's brown. Oh, that's so light for my neck. I find that it sits in my crease sometimes a little bit cakey if I use a brush and don't thin it out. But with the powder puff, it absorbs a lot of the foundation and puts on like a thin layer. So the one I'm using is Rosie Rosa. My boyfriend's sister gave it to me, and I've just been using that. I much prefer this over a beauty blender. I used to be like die-hard beauty blender until I found like really nice brushes. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pat this all over my face, and once I'm done, I'll be back. You can see it's looking quite light for my face, like I said, but don't worry, we'll go and darken this up. I'm not gonna bring it down to my neck, I'm just gonna bring the darkness back to my neck, you'll see. But I do not like putting like beauty blenders or things like that on my nose. It just doesn't take well. So I go in with a brush like this. I had like a better brush that was a little bit bigger and more angled, but I use a brush like this and cake it onto my nose, bro. If we're being real, I did put like a few swipes in on my nose before, but I don't pat it onto my nose because it just, once I get it on there like that, it just messes it up. So from the looks of it, I'm just caking this onto my nose, which is good anyways because my nose is another spot that gets really oily. Before I blend that in, I'm gonna look to see if I have any spots that weren't fully concealed by the foundation, and just add more foundation and let it sit there while we blend out the nose, like you would with concealer. You can do this with a concealer. I just don't have a concealer that's my shade at the moment. They're all lighter, but it's fine because winter's coming up and I'll probably stop self-tanning. I only did it a week ago, so that would be my first time ever doing it, and I don't know how much I'm gonna keep up with it. See, look at that. You can't tell, but full coverage on the nose. I'm just gonna wipe the excess on my eye. I don't really put concealer on my lids. I feel like most people do. And to be honest, it looks better. Just my lids crease so much. I'll hit it with bronzer, but that's about it. Now we're gonna go in and just dab out all the concealer. And if it doesn't blend out now, it'll blend out later. Because like I said, we have to darken this up. Yet again, not trying to focus too much on my crease here, like my smile lines, because they get easily cakey for me. Wow, I look like a ghost right now. Once I finish blending this up, I'll come back. Now sometimes I'll do these steps before because I would have already mixed my color foundation, blah blah blah, or depending on what products I'm running out on, it changes. Like for instance, I'm running out of this, so instead of starting out with that, I'm gonna start off with, forgive me, it is quite dirty because my eyelash glue, the Milani Cheek Kiss bronzer and cream bronzer in Spilling Tea. This is also like running out, but I take a big, yet again, angled brush that I used to use for foundation and just rub it in there, rub it in there. I was actually going to do another step before this, but it's fine. I'm basically just gonna bronze the whole side of my face because, yet again, I used a white foundation. And also my cheekbones. I just have to get a little bit more product. This is pretty much my summer makeup. I'm gonna be showing you guys my this is way too much product. I'm going a little bit heavy-handed. You also want to put the bronzer underneath like that. That's what it's gonna look like. I know that looks crazy. Also on the sides. Oh my gosh, I've never done this much on my freaking face. If you have too much product, just re-put it on your cheeks. And now we're just gonna blend it out, avoiding that white area. Also, I know I'm getting it on my cheek, but we're gonna do concealer, so it doesn't really matter. I don't go any higher than that. Is not what it normally looks like. But like I said, this makeup routine is very forgiving. Okay, and you just want to blend from here up, not really taking it on the sides too much. I'll be back, and I will be back with the fixed nose, and I'll tell you exactly how I did it, because this is horrendous. This is what it looks like. I think I'm fumbling this makeup routine, but I 100% believe it'll come back in the end. My makeup routine's quite the trusty process, believe it or not. Okay, now on to blush. I'm gonna be using the Alpha Camo Liquid Blush in the shade. Oh my gosh. Very well. And this is so pigmented, so I just do a little, like, that's it. And a little on the forehead. And you can make use of that in other places too. Going in with the same brush, just because it'll blend the colors out a little bit better. Since I'm going for like a bronzy look, it'll be like bronzy and blushy. Just gonna blend it out, and I drag it up and also under my eye a little bit. And then we're gonna blend in the forehead, That looks crazy. Let me actually do a good job. It's okay if you get some in the hairline, because when I go in with bronzer later, it's not gonna look like you have a red hairline. I don't know why I put blush on my forehead. Thinking about it now, that's kind of like a strange placement. It just feels balanced. Like in my head, it's like, yeah, blush on my forehead. But now that I think about it, it makes no sense. Why do I put blush on my forehead? It must have been someone who put me on, because I know I didn't just start doing it. Okay. Now I'm gonna use another blush. The Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Blush Stick in Raspberry. This is my favorite blush of all some up on the side of the lid and just pop it right there, and same thing on the other side. That's it for this concealer. It's hydrating, but it's very, to me it's full coverage. So in other spots, I go in with like a more thin water-based concealer. This is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Multi-Use Concealer in the shade 07N. And this is much thinner, so I go right there above my chin, underneath my nose, and then do a little right there. I'll also put some below that just to brighten up this area since I went in a bit dark. And then I think I'm gonna leave that. Normally sometimes I'll go in under here, but we have to blend this. We can't have my makeup looking any lighter than it already does. Yeah, no ma'am. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit and then blend it out. I blend out my under eye concealer with this brush, the same brush. I know it has bronzer on it, but it also helps blend it into this area. And then all this, I think I use the same brush as well. I don't think for this area I'm gonna use a brush, so actually yes I am. I'm gonna use a brush for all of it except for my forehead. I'm just gonna go in with this or my big brush. But yeah, let it sit for a little bit and then blend. Just start blending out the Sephora concealer because since it's thinner, oh, there I am, it dries quicker, so I'm blending it out. I blend out my upper lip and lower lip fine with the brush, but when I go to blend out my forehead, I bring it up, you know, move the product around so it's not a lot of product sitting in one area, but as you can see it's just like a sharp little U. So once it's somewhat blended completely out, I go in with the brush that we use for the blush and the bronzer, and I just tap out the line so it's not as harsh and all nice and blended. Now I'm gonna go in and blend this out, and then my under eyes that I've blended out. Oh, not completely. I haven't really blended out. I kind of just moved the concealer around my under eye. I'm gonna get my setting powder ready to go. I use the Wet n Wild loose setting powder. This is the one that works the best for me. I wouldn't say that it's great for someone with super oily skin, because obviously my makeup, just like my face still gets oily, like not crazy, but my nose and my forehead will still get oily. So I always bring a powder puff to touch up, but my makeup does not move. Like, it does not move. I don't know if that's due to the powder, the setting spray, probably the powder. But I get my loose powder ready and my powder puff. This is just a face made powder puff, and I get it ready because immediately once I blend the crease, like the crease and my under eye, I pack it with the powder. So I'm just gonna finish blending it. This this is just what works for me after, like, I've been doing a full face of makeup since junior year of high school. Like, I'm talking like waking up at 6 a.m. doing my makeup, just for school. So this is just what works for me. And if something in this routine does not work for you, you know, take it and adjust it with how you do your makeup. I also put it on my eyelids because my eyelids get really, what's it called? I'm just gonna pack some extra on my face. Make sure you hit every little area, like get in under your nose. If you want a more dewy look, you can leave this a little less powdered. But I go in with cream products on top of my powder, so it gets a little dewy anyways, and I kind of like that on my cheeks. Okay, I don't have the brush I use for to get rid of this, but because I said my smile lines crease very easily, once I've done setting that, I just wipe it away in that area and a little bit under my eye, just so it doesn't get cakey and things like that. You could already see, like, oh, you can't see, I can see my crease is already, like, it's visible. Like, I have smile lines, I'm a funny girl. So yeah, let this powder sit. If you got time, 5 minutes or so, or until you can't handle just sitting in silence, I'm gonna go let this powder sit and be right back. Oh my gosh, I can never leave you guys. I shall be back. Letting it sit for some time now. We're gonna go in with the same brush. This is the brush I use for my bronzer, and we're just gonna wipe off everything except for the nose. We're leaving that nose there until it's time to do it. So wiping it off everywhere, even under my eye, just so it doesn't crease. I could have left it on my chin if I'm being honest, but okay. But leaving it on the nose, because like I said, that's what gets oily the quickest. We're gonna go in with some bronzer. I use this bronzer from the Dollar Tree. It's called, it's like a fake Laura Mercier. Not visually, but the name is Le Mercier. And it's the Sunlight Bronzer in the shade. I think this might be the only shade. It looks like this. If you care to get it, I just use whatever bronzer, to be honest. And we're gonna put this all over, dipping into it and just bronzing up to our liking. I apologize for the mirror being in the frame. I know it could be a little annoying. We're putting it everywhere just because I went in with the lighter foundation, so we're bringing it down here, doing our lower chin, a little of the excess on our, that's not a cheek, I don't know what to call that. And most of the time I don't really care about this area because it gets covered by my hair, so I think that reflects within how I do my makeup, because this gets covered, so even if I do it really dark, doesn't really matter. But darker bronzer, I couldn't tell you who this is by because the logo is completely gone. Actually, I can because I have a blush by them. This is a random ass brand that I got in a makeup advent calendar. It's W7. I think you could get it at Walgreens or CVS. And honestly, like, my favorite bronzer ever, but there's only this much left. So we use what we can, just dipping back in it because it's a bit darker. And yet again, putting it everywhere, but more specifically just in this area, but just like wherever. I'm not really technical with how I place this type of stuff, just like spreading it. And yet again, I put it all over my for my eyelash glue, and I use dip in this color, and this color for my nose contour. I've done this for actual years. This is one part of my routine that has stayed consistent. So we're gonna start off by wiping the powder off. And yes, your makeup. Oh, that did not set right on my nose. Oh, there it goes, wiped off. We're gonna wipe it all off. And because, you know, I apply a lot of powder, a lot of that pigment doesn't show through, as you can see, so that's why I hit it with the powder. Plus, it makes your makeup stay longer, having double of everything. I'm gonna go in with this brush by Eco Tools, I think, and use this side. It's the dual-ended brushes. I love these, ride or die. I've lost these before and repurchased them. Yeah, I know this is meant for eyeshadow. I mean, I'm using eyeshadow anyways. We're gonna go in with the lightest color and just rub it on our nose, staying away from that little line we made in the beginning. Just getting some color on there. Now going in with the second darkest shade and just rubbing that in. I like try to make that a little like ombre, like darker here and a little bit lighter, just so it looks a little bit more natural and not as harsh, but like, girl, am I really doing that? Am I really being that intentionally precise? No. Now going in with the darkest shade, I don't know if you could tell, and hitting only this portion. You can see like I only did that little tip bit. Putting it there, blending the rest out on my nostrils, wiping some product off and blending it. Blending it. Sorry, I'm like a little focused. I feel like normally I do my makeup in really harsh lighting, so I apologize if this makeup routine looks a little crazy. I'm not used to this. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go back to the base routine and add some blush. First, I'm gonna use the W7 Ladybird Lane blush. Yet again, random blush from the advent calendar. I don't have my regular blush brush. I don't know where it went, but it's fine because sometimes I use the same bronzer blush too, because yet again, it's blended in relatively well. Like it just mushes together, like, you know. Sorry, I hit it. This is quite a red blush, and it's also shimmery, so I just plop that on right there. You know, that sunburned look. Forehead and chin. Now, for this part, I would have really appreciated having that brush. So this is unfortunate. I think it's by e.l.f. and it has a big dome but dense brush on one side and a small brush on the end, which is really good for getting the tip of the nose. Sometimes I do my nose contour with that brush. Don't know where it is, but we're gonna dip back into the Makeup by Mario blush. I'm just going in with this random brush I got at Jimbros and just swiping on it, since this brush is a little thinner, and we're gonna go on top of it and add some of this color, and it's such a nice pink. I feel like it's so cutesy, and I know it looks a little bit harsh leading into my under eye area, but that will get fixed when we go in with some more powders. Almost dipped into the bronzer. Yet again, going in on my forehead and chin. just gonna mix these two colors, mainly this one, and just put it everywhere, to be honest. You'll see there's no, like, what's the expression? Rim or rhyme to how I do my makeup. It's just like putting it everywhere, dipping into some of my nose contour shade, and just putting that everywhere. We already have a lot of bronzer on the lid, but I like it to be like a little dark and like match that area. So it's just like, phew. Okay, fun part. So I kind of do this out of order. I think most people would do their eyeliner, then mascara, then eyelashes. No ma'am. I do my eyelashes first, then eyeliner, because I like to do my eyeliner proportionately to how my mascara and lashes look. Excuse me. So, to be honest, you can use whatever mascara. Since I'm putting on lashes, I don't really care to curl them or anything, just to get some mascara on them, so my lashes have something to hold on to. I'm using probably the only non-drugstore product besides the makeup Mario sticks. This is the Tarte to Light Tubing Mascara. I'm sure you've seen this on TikTok. If I'm doing like no makeup looks, I love this mascara like so much. You can already tell big difference. Yeah, this mascara is so nice, and I feel like it's not that not heavy on the lashes, but like not too drying on the lashes. I do find personally for me, when I wear it with no other makeup, like no other foundation or anything like that, it does get under my eye, but otherwise no. Look at that difference. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put some more mascara on my other lid. I would also like to mention, make sure you really get it thick at the band, like up your at the root of your lashes, just so those lashes, those falsies, have something to stick onto, and make sure you really get the ends and the inner corner too. Okay, on to lashes. I thought I brought my physical lashes with me. I think they're in my bag. I will leave in the description the lashes I use. I can try to include a link as well, because a lot of you guys have asked me what lashes I use, and I just get them off of Amazon. So since I don't have the actual container to show you, I'll leave it in the description box. But I do have my lashes from yesterday, and girl, if there's one thing that's like for sure, it's that I'm gonna reuse lashes. So it probably would have been good to have the lashes ready so I can show you exactly what I do, but I take the whole lash and I divide it into 3 parts, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how to describe this to you guys. See how, for instance, there's this piece of eyelash. Wait, how can I show you guys this properly? Wait, why am I not doing this properly? Oh, there we go. And on this piece of eyelash, there's like 2 clumps. Why am I not tilting right? Okay. There's like 2 clumps, 1 and 2. I do the back 2, so the longest 2. Then I do the next 3. You can see it. The next 3. And then the last 2. This is just what works best for my eye shape. You eyelashes do rip out. Not really. Like, as you can tell, I have like a bit of eyelashes. Naturally, if you are not wearing eyelashes, you're gonna have more. To be fair, I don't take that great care of them when I'm in my eyelash wearing phase, but it's not that damaging, particularly to my eyelashes, so I don't mind. So yeah, you just plop on the glue, plop it on, wait for it to dry a bit, and I apply them underneath, right underneath my eyelash, right underneath. I do not put it on top. I just find it doesn't look as good, it doesn't stay on my eyes. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for these to dry and bloop them on. I just use my fingers. I've used tweezers before. I think at times they work better. I go through phases. Right now, I've lost my tweezers, so not my current phase. With this eyelash glue, it would be so helpful to have tweezers because it is so damn sticky and just a mess. But yeah, do what works for you. I look crazy. This is me with them on. My eyes like bothering me a little bit because I just freshly glued them. They are, because of the glue, they are a bit finicky. Oh, like for example, now my inner corner is coming off. Oh, just came off. But this is what it's meant to look like. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this eye and then do the other one, and we'll be back. Sometimes my eyelashes, for example, yesterday I took a nap in them. I lost my inner corner one. Where has it gone? Okay, anyways, sometimes if I'm taking a nap and my powder or whatever gets smudged onto my eyelashes and they look a little powdery, because I'm a reusing queen, you know, we don't have money, I'll just go over them with mascara and just, they'll look a little bit wet, but it makes them nice and dark again. And I'll just do that from the base, and they're pretty much back to life, I think. Yeah, just sometimes they get a little bit of powder on them. So I'll do this. I don't know how hygienic this is. I've never had mites or anything in my lashes. Like, I'm relatively clean with all that, so hopefully don't be too concerned if you decide to do this. Just like, you know, this is just my tutorial. I guess I did just say like tip, but just know, although I may not have any problems with it, doesn't mean you won't. Just finished putting on my lashes. Gorgeous. Now it's time for eyeliner. You can go in with any eyeliner, black eyeliner. Sometimes I use a black eyeliner, but I wanted to look a little bit more. I hate saying natural in this makeup routine because this is not natural, but I kind of wanted to be a little less harsh, so I go in with a really dark brown eyeshadow. I'll either use the Wet n Wild color icon in Standing on Eggshells or Walking on Eggshells. It's covered. I'll either use another broken item, this shade, which I also use for my birthmarks, or I'll go in with the Flower Nose palette. This is the Flower Nose Little Angel collection, and I'll use this one, and that's what I'll use for my wing. I take, yet again, can't find this specific brush. I'll use the Econ precise person. But if you also have curly hair with like face framing curls at the front, honestly, don't spend your life doing your eyeliner. It doesn't matter that much. You can see, just adds a little bit of like a whoop at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and do it to this side as well. Just swooping it on, and I don't bring it all the way to my inner corner. I'll like just do about to the start of my iris, and that's about it for how long I do my eyeliner. Bang. Sometimes I'll bring it around the eye if I want like a darker look, but for the most part I don't. I'm gonna dip into that darker color because I do want it a little bit darker from the Wet n Wild palette, and just darken it up a little bit. Boom. Forgive me for that noise. I think they're doing some construction downstairs. Oh, see, look, I've already made it longer by accident, but it doesn't really matter. Now, using the same brush and dipping into the eyeshadow, wiping the edges, I'm gonna go into my inner corner. Sometimes I do this with eyeliner, sometimes I just don't. It depends, and I just fill in my waterline with that. I feel like it does stay on for me because I do put it a little bit over it and just fill it in and make a little point at the end. Once again, I'm not that precise, so I don't really care too much if it is a point or not. Just so it looks like that. How cute. Okay, next is, I feel like my lashes are coming off. They are a little bit. I'm telling you, it's this dang glue. Now it's time for eyebrows and lips. I'm gonna go ahead and take I either use a towel, the towel that I use to exfoliate my face, or just like a cotton pad and micellar water and wipe it, because with how much powder we use, they're like covered. So I'm gonna remove it and be back. It'd probably be good to comb them out. I find they look the best when I have like an eyebrow pencil, but use what we got. Don't have that at the moment. So same brush, dipping into either or of those dark colors and just filling them in. I don't have my eyebrows shaped any specific way. I'm currently growing them out, so if you see, oh, that looks bad. If you see any like hair like all around it, it's because there is. I kind of want them to be fuller, so that's been my journey. I just follow my natural arch and just fill them in and create a little bit more of a tip right there. Those don't look good. Okay. I think I messed up right here. I don't care. Yet again, they're just gonna get covered. So, we'll just leave it. I'm doing the same thing to the other side. Just filling them in. eyebrow slit at the moment. If you can't tell, sometimes I'll just go in with like concealer to brighten it, but I feel like today I did a good job and it's noticeable, so I'll leave it. But yeah, that's basically it for the eyebrows. Now, they're not sisters, not even twins, not even cousins, but they're there, so there's not much more I can ask for. Now, lip combo. Unfortunately, this is not my original lip combo that I've been wearing in videos. I'm going lighter because I know it's been looking a little crazy, but I still will tell you the products I use for the original lip combo, especially for my darker skin girlies, my tan girlies, gorgeous complexions. I'll let you know because honestly it's more fitting for that complexion rather than mine. But I start off with the NYX Professional I don't even know. I start off with the NYX this says eye pencil. Clock it, what the fuck? Whatever. In light brown. Looks like this. Put that all over the lips. I overline. I have a Cupid's bow. I overline it yet again. Another thing that just comes with the phases of my makeup. Oh, my light turned off. There we go. That just comes with the phases of my makeup. Sometimes I'll pronounce it. Excuse me, other times I won't. But yeah, I overline my Cupid's bow. And I know a lot of people like hate when people do that because you see the little like lip, but it's fine. I also overline my whole top lip a little bit. I think I have a double lip line. Oh, my grandma's calling. Be right back. Oh, be right back. Oh, be right back. Oh my goodness. Be right back. I just had a lovely conversation with my grandmother. But I did go ahead and line my lower lip. Oh, I should probably blend that in a little more. And I fill in a little bit of my top lip. Now I'm going in with the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner in the shade Dark Cocoa. And this is only for my top lip because, like I said, honestly, I don't think you can tell that much that I overlined it. My lips are crooked. Let's fix that. Where's my lip liner? My lips, I think they're naturally crooked, but let's even it out. Because I think one side's higher. There we go, that's a little bit better. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Let's line the top lip. Just because I do get anxious that you might see the little divot, so I just go in with the darker color, and this helps cancel out the divot. Typically, I'll go in with, this is the lip combo that is in pretty much every single video. Literally every video. It's the Twinkies lip liner. It comes in, I don't know the shade specifically because I think it's just specific to the Twinkies set. I don't know if this is Glam Light or what, but I don't know if you've ever seen those lip kits on TikTok, and I use this shade. It's so nice and it's so creamy, it glides on easy. Plus you can choose the darkness. I just feel like I've been like too heavy-handed with it, so I switched to this one, which is a little bit more browny, cool toned, and I think matches the lip liner underneath. Okay, that's it for the lip liner. For lips, tried my best to go in order. Normally when I'm doing my makeup routine, I'll just do whatever, but I'm trying my best to like make it make sense for you guys. But throughout it, I'll like constantly touch up different things. So currently I'm just going in with my nose contour colors and just, you know, touching it up to my liking. Sometimes if I want like a harsher nose contour line, I'll go in with a different set of Eco Tools brushes. Sometimes I'll like use this brush to get like a deeper inner corner eyeshadow. Today I did not, obviously, but sometimes I'll use this end. I used to religiously use this end of the brush for my nose contour because I'd make it like a little button, and today we're somewhat doing that. Just kidding. I would literally make it like a point, and my nose has no point at all. Not even on the side. I'm just gonna deepen up that dark line there. I feel like that's cute, right? I don't know. Also, when I do my nose contour, I didn't mention this earlier just because I didn't really realize. I kind of go in like a slight triangular form, so it's a little thicker here and a little bit tinier there. I feel like that's normal. And now I'm gonna go in with a little bit more eyeshadow that I use for my nose contour and just blend the nose contour with my bridge, just so it's a little bit more seamless. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting the damn mic. Just so it's a little bit more seamless. Just blend it in. Okay, time for like the last little bits. I forgot to do this earlier. Great. Should I just put on my freckles? Put on my freckles. I'm gonna put on my birthmarks. For birthmarks, I specifically use this brush. Best brush ever for birthmarks, perfect size. And oh my goodness, that whole time I don't think I was recording. Okay, that's unfortunate. I went ahead and I did my birthmarks using this palette and the darkest shade. I just put them sporadically, you know, covering pimples, acne scars, things like that. I put one under my eye. I always try to get one under my eye. Also one near my mouth. Love it. On my chin. Over here, pimple, and then on my forehead as well. I talked a little bit about like acne scars and things like that because you can't tell, but I do have a lot of acne scars and acne. So birthmarks are like a cute way to like distract from that. And I feel like they're cute. I have birthmarks of my own. They're just covered up my makeup, so you can't see them. And I also went ahead and used some setting spray on my face. I use whatever setting spray I can get at the drugstore that's cheap. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Finish Setting Spray. Sprayed that a bunch, and now we're just gonna let that sit. Also, for my birthmarks, you could just use the end of a makeup brush. I got this one, like I said, from Jim Rose, and it is the perfect brush for birthmarks, so that's what I used. But we're gonna come back and powder my face once I'm done. I'd wait for my setting spray to be completely dry, but I feel like this one sets a little wet, even though it's a matte one. The dichotomy of that, but nonetheless, I still like to hit it with some powder afterwards. So once again, using my puff, you could just use the leftover of what's on it. I'm just gonna dip into more powder because I'm not too afraid of a white cast, and just hit it over my makeup. Preferably not using too much so it's not that noticeable, and just set around it. Make sure you're being mindful of your birthmarks if you placed any, because they can smudge if you're being too aggressive. Oh my gosh, that looks so white now. Or pale. junior in college now. This is a shimmery shade. It might not look like it, but it is. And I do my inner corner and tip of my nose. Just rubbing that in like so. And hitting the tip of my nose. And blending it out with my finger. She's blinding. Now, just so it's not so bright, since I'm going for like a bronzy look, I'm gonna go into this palette. It's by Flower, which is I forgot her name again. Drew Barrymore's brand. It's in the shade Petal Play. It's a shadow quad. I'm gonna go in with the. It's so. All my makeup is disgusting. I'm gonna go in with the light gold shade and put it in all of those areas once again. The inner corner first. Sometimes I'll just do this with my finger, and then also the tip of my nose. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. If you feel like you put a lot of highlighter and it's just like a bit too much, just do the nose contour routine once more. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Just go back over my nose, and then powder will naturally fall over the highlight and just make it a little bit more diffused. I think, yet again, for all my videos, put some highlighter on my cheek. I don't think I feel like doing that, but fuck it, we'll just do it for today. Ooh, can you hear the thunder? I hope so, that'd be so cute. I'm gonna go in with the gold shade. Just put it on my finger. It honestly doesn't even look that good when I do it. I just pop it on the tip of my cheek, blend it a little bit, and that's it. Okay, let's take down our hair. My hair is a little bit rough. Oh, should I do like a little pony? I'm not. My hair looks a little bit rough because it's been in this ponytail and has so much product from the week before. Oh yeah, girl. I need to fix this hair. But I have to get a little outro of my makeup. I love how I'm going absolutely nowhere today, but that does not matter. We still are gonna slay no matter what. Pull out a little curl, a curl or two, a little bit of hair. Okay. Posing for a thumbnail. One moment. Oh, should we use a brush? Let's pose with the brush. Okay. And I know my hair looks crazy. It's getting dangerous out there. That was my makeup tutorial. Hopefully it was not too chaotic. I know I didn't do my best at explaining each step thoroughly. I like kind of lost my vocabulary in this video, but it's fine. But yes, that was my makeup tutorial. If you're gonna wear your hair up, also blend the bronzer into your hairline like a lot, or else you'll have this white scalp situation. We don't want that. But yeah, that was my makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I did my best at I hope I did my best at explaining each step of my routine, and if you gained anything from this, any tips, any new products, any new faves, let me know. And if you don't do makeup, or you don't care to, or anything like that, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stayed, maybe for the tingles. I feel like it wasn't a very tingly video. I wasn't too focused on my little clicky whispers, but I tried to do my best for you guys. I'll continue to post regularly. Of course, I have a bunch of pre-filmed videos. If you have any video suggestions, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you for getting me to, I think I'm at 1,000. Right now I'm at, let's see. Let's check our YouTube analytics. I'm at 1,306 subscribers. much.